Hello YouTube, my name is Mike and this is Kickin' Ass Minis. So as promised, we're going to follow up with the second video today, and this time we're going to do a little bit of a room tour. Now I want to just take a minute and kind of give you an idea about the space that I work in when I make my videos, and also a little bit of my workspace for the other things that I do, like the painting of the minis and gaming. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start with the painting desk because that's the purpose of this channel. So here we've got just a few basic things. I have my painting desk set up on a folding table. It's 6 foot by about 2.5 feet. And here I have my assortment of various paints. I have Army Painter and Citadel paints that I've decanted. I've got Reaper paints, as well as Vallejo Game Color and Model Color. I've got my, over here on the right, I've got my basic colors. On the left, I've got my washes and metallics, and a few additional paints like some air paints that I've recently picked up, and some scenery paints that I got a really good deal at my local game store. So these cases are actually essential oil cases that I picked up at Amazon, and I'll make sure and include a link in the video description. Over here on the right, we have our Lab Genius Vortex Mixer, and I gotta tell you, if you don't have one of these things, I really recommend it. Saves your elbow and your energy for shaking your paints, and everything comes out buttery smooth. Any of the paints that I've gotten, some of them have been a little dried out when I received them, or in a really solid condition, and so just throwing them on the vortex mixer with some hematite beads that I've got in each of the paint pots just turns them back into butter smoothness. Also, I've got my Masterson wet palette, a separate little palette on the right for washes and metallics, and of course the old mason jar for the cleaning of the brushes. There is my iPhone that I typically record with, but I'm actually using a different iPhone. That is the iPhone 7 Plus that I'm recording these videos on. It does a great job. Over here on the left, we have our paint brushes. Now these are just little tiny detail brushes. They range in size from 2 to like -4, or I'm sorry, 4-0 or 0000. They do a pretty good job. I really like them. Eventually I'd like to get some sable brushes, but that's going to be for another time. Now backing up a little bit, I'm going to show you the lighting that I've got set up here. It is a little bit of overkill, I will admit. I've got a lamp over here with a OttLite daylight lamp over here on the left, a different OttLite lamp on the right, and I believe that's an 18-watt task lamp. And then I got a really good deal on a photography light, which is also daylight brightness, and it illuminates my entire workspace very nicely, makes seeing the colors true, and looks really good. Now I'm gonna just bring us up a little bit here and kind of give you a quick room tour. Let's go ahead and start over here on the left. Now we've got my storage area slash kind of catch-all. Over here we've got our D&D books. I've got 3.5 books over here on the left, and then all of my 5th edition books on the right. I'm currently running 2 campaigns. One of them is for the Princes of the Apocalypse, which I'm running for my son and his roommate, and then I'm also running the Tyranny of Dragons for my friends. Right up above there, we've got all of my Magic the Gathering cards, and those binders separate the cards out for the rares and mythics and any valuable cards. And then over here, I've got a massive stack of commons and uncommons that I've sorted out by color. I've also got a few additional small boxes that I've got for basic lands and tokens and full art lands. And then there's my case that I keep all of my decks in. I've got each of the spell cards from Gale Force 9, as well as a collection of dice and other assorted accoutrements. Now up here is part 1 of my Wall of Shame. I've got some pieces that I've acquired. This over here on the left is going to be from Dungeons and Lasers Kickstarter. They sent me out a sample of their Kickstarter piece, and it's one of the ones that I'm really looking forward to completing. I hope to get that up really soon. Got Minsk and Boo. I had to pick him up when I had the chance. And then I've got a couple of the Nolzur's Marvelous Dragons. So far, I've acquired both the blue and copper. Now, you've seen the Beholder, and I've got a couple of empty blister packs, and I'll explain why here in just a moment, of Human Druids and some Air Ganassi Rogues. Now, recently, I went over to my local game store, and they were having a sale, and I managed to get all of these Bones and Darkhaven miniatures from them for a really great price. Picked up some Tau bases that I intend to use later on. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit here and just kind of give you a quick little rundown. More D&D stuff. Some over there we've got the painting supplies like cleaners and varnishes, and also some base paints, primers, that's what I'm thinking of. And then we've got some new pieces that I picked up on Black Friday from Miniature Market, and this is their Wrath of Kings mini set. It's a tabletop wargaming, much like 40K, but it doesn't seem to have taken off as well, so the miniatures themselves are awesome, but got them for really, really cheap. We've got our LA is Totally Awesome, which is a great paint stripper. If you do not have this stuff, I highly recommend it. Simple green is the most common thing that people go for, but truth be told, this works just as well, and it's only $1 at the dollar store. Now, I'm going to scan back a little bit here and show off a little bit of my art collection that I've got. These pieces up here are from the Court of the Dead by Sideshow Collectibles, and each one symbolizes different factions within their organization. One for flesh, one for spirit, and one for bone. You can't have a geek shrine without some Star Wars posters. And then over here, we've got a few more random Star Wars knickknacks. All right, so over here on the left, we've got some Iron Man and World of Warcraft pieces by Woody Hearn of GU Comics, some Rick and Morty, a little bit of Spider-Man. We've got questionable content up there in the top. It's a webcomic. I highly recommend it if you are an adult. And up here we've got some dice that I took from various fat packs and turned into a little bit of art using a shadow box. Now we've got some Black Panther, a little bit of Wonder Woman, Pac-Man, some more Woody Hearn, some Goonies. Now, this piece here is one that I picked up at Wizard World of Des Moines. I spent a lot of time looking around for something that was unique. The artist is by the name of Mostafa Musa. I highly recommend you check out his stuff. It's really good. And then this one here currently is my pride and joy. This one is by a local artist by the name of Tyler Walpole. This was a gift to me from a friend who knows Tyler personally, and I really had to make this my centerpiece on the wall. Tyler is known for doing stuff for Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, and he's just an incredibly talented artist. We've got some Resident Evil, some pictures of the fam. That up there is my World of Warcraft Brewmaster Monk, one of a couple of pieces that I've had done of him. We've got some Q-Figs, some pop vinyls, and then we're going to back up a little bit, and these are my aquariums. These are both 10-gallon tanks. The one over here on the left is what's called a low-light tank. It's just not very demanding. We've got some various plants in there, and there's a bed of fish, as well as some cherry red shrimp. And then over here on the right, this one is my high-tech tank. And let me adjust the light there.
That one is got CO2 and highlight and some fancy rocks and plants. That one took me a good couple of months to get looking that way. It needs a good trimming, but it's pretty healthy. And this is the PC. Now, I've been playing World of Warcraft for a couple of years now, and built myself a nice little rig. I'll go over the specs on it here in just a second, but I had somebody make me that plate that I've got up there. I've got some Astro A50s that I've got. I've got the Logitech G502, the Corsair K95 RGB Platinum, the Razer Orb Weaver Chroma, and a couple of 27-inch monitors. I'll also include a better picture. The system specs that I've got on this is an i5 8400. It's not overclocked, it's not anything special. I've got the MSI Tomahawk motherboard, a GTX 1070, Cooler Master AIO, a bunch of fans, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and a 1 terabyte solid state drive, as well as 6 terabytes of mechanical storage. And then no gamer can be without a good gamer chair. I spent a long time researching and finally settled on the Secret Labs Titan. I went with the cloth version, which I couldn't be happier with. It's just been a really great and comfortable chair. And finally, we've got the Pile of Shame Part 2. Now, these are miniatures that I am going to be working on a little bit at a time. There's a couple that I've completed over here on the left. And I think the next one that I'm going to be working on, as far as this goes, is going to be the character for my son's roommate. He is a druid, and he has chosen this miniature for his character that he wants to get painted.
And thanks for coming along with me, folks. Again, this was just a simple little room tour. I plan to actually do some real painting here real soon. But for the time being, the holidays are upon us, and making the time to sit down and dedicate any time to doing a video, it's a little challenging at the moment, but I promise content will be coming soon. Thanks again for stopping by, and remember, keep on kicking ass and painting minis. Bye!